she here, and I am a proud queer woman. For those of you who would benefit from a visual description, I'm a white woman with ginger hair, glasses and tattoos. Some of you will have heard me speak at previous events wearing different hats, but today I'm here in my role as Chair of Proud Changemakers, who are an organisation who shares stories of LGBTQIA+ folk across civil society so that we can push for positive action and change in our community. We have a podcast which, if you don't already listen to, you should definitely check out. So with that blatant plug out of the way, today on IDAHOBIT, we unite against a devastating truth. Our rights are being rolled back. We're angry, we're afraid, but we're also determined. We will not let them take our rights quietly. 10 years ago, the UK called itself a global leader. This week, we fell to 22nd place. From first to 22nd in a decade, the steepest drop of any country. That is no accident. It is the result of calculated political decisions, media hysteria, and institutional betrayal. Last month, the UK Supreme Court redefined woman for the purpose of the Equality Act to mean only biological women, applying a strict binary definition which excluded trans women and fails to recognise the existence of intersex and non-binary people. This wasn't just semantics. It overturned decades of progress in recognising trans identities. The ruling is already fuelling discrimination in services and in everyday life. And what did our government do? Did they step in and protect people? No, they welcomed the decision. The Equality and Human Rights Commission, the body meant to defend our rights, endorsed the ruling. They put out a statement backing this view, effectively greenlighting discrimination. Let me be clear, the organisation that is supposed to protect our human rights has turned its back on trans people and the wider queer community. Instead of standing with us, they've opposed inclusive policies and urged the government to strip away protections. They have betrayed us and we will not stay silent. And while we're here, where is the conversion therapy ban? It's been 7 years since Theresa May stood up and said that this cruel, pseudo-scientific practice will be stamped out for good. 7 years and still nothing. Ministers stall, consult, delay. In 2025, LGBTQ+ kids can still be subjected to so-called therapy to force them to be straight or cis. That is state-sanctioned abuse. How is that still acceptable? How many more vulnerable young people must be put through hell while ministers break their promises? The atmosphere in the UK has grown more hostile for LGBTQ+ people, especially trans people, than I have ever seen in my lifetime. We all feel it. The hate on the streets is rising. In the last 5 years, hate crimes against lesbian, gay and bi people rose by 112%, and against trans people up 186%. These aren't just stats, they're people. Our siblings, friends, community members, attacked in the streets, online, in schools and in workplaces. And who's fanning these flames? The media. In January 2013, the Daily Mail ran 0 articles on trans people. By January 2023, it ran 115, 87% of them negative. Last month, 228 anti-trans articles in just 30 days. That's not journalism, it's a smear campaign. And it's not just them. Supposedly respectable newspapers are just as obsessed. Column after column, headline after headline, dehumanising us. We are not a debate, we are people. And our politicians, instead of leading, parrot that hate. They obsess over toilets and sports, stoke fear around inclusive education, and push for gag orders in schools. A few months ago, our Prime Minister defended banning any mention of gender identity until the age of 18, and used Section 28 in all but name. We fought for years to end that gag order on our lives and love, and we will not let a new gag order silence us. We have to call this what it is. It's a coordinated attack on our communities, and one with disturbing echoes of history. Across society around the world, far-right forces are on the rise, and they're putting us in their crosshairs. In the UK, hate groups and so-called gender physical activists have found common cause. We've seen neo-Nazis and white supremacists turn up at anti-trans rallies. We've seen far-right thugs harassing drag queen storytime events and pride gatherings. This is not a coincidence. It is part of a pattern. They start by demonising a small minority, and then they use that fear to attack human rights for everyone. History warns us about this. In 1933, the Nazis' first targets for book burnings were LGBTQ books and research. In May 1933, Nazi youth and the background states stormed the Institute of Sexology in Berlin, a research centre that had pioneered the study of sexuality and gender, and burnt its entire library in a bonfire. Why? Because erasing knowledge is the first step to erasing people. Today we are seeing that again. In Florida, in Russia, in Uganda, books banned, identities criminalised, lives endangered, and we must say, never again. But proposals to enforce biological sex only in public toilets are utter nonsense. That would be absolutely laughable if it wasn't so dangerous. It's obvious that such toilet bans are unenforceable without grotesque invasions of privacy. Are we going to have genital inspectors stood at every limb? It's dystopian. What will happen is that self-appointed vigilantes will start policing who uses what toilet. This isn't about safety, it's about fear and it's about control. It leads to harassment against trans people, but also butch lesbians, gender non-conforming women, and anyone who some bigot decides looks a bit trans. Is that the society that we want? Where anyone who doesn't fit some 1950s stereotype of femininity or masculinity gets challenged by the backroom police. Even Wetherspoons said that they won't enforce such nonsense. And when a pub chain is showing more respect for human rights than the EHRC, then you know we've got problems. Yes, things feel heavy. They are heavy. I hear from young trans people who ask, will I even have a future here? Should I leave the UK? I hear from older gay friends who've lived through Section 28 of the AIDS crisis, saying, I never thought we'd have to fight these same battles again. There's a lot of pain in our community right now. Let's acknowledge that. It's okay to be scared or angry. Those are valid responses to injustice. But that's not where our story ends. We've been here before. We survived the AIDS crisis. We overturned Section 28. We fought for marriage equality. We made progress and we can do it again. Because we have something that the other side doesn't. We've got each other. Our story is one of hope and defiance. They want us to feel alone. They want us to be silent. But we are a community. And the theme, as has already been said, of this year's IDAHOBIT is the power of community. And that couldn't be more relevant. Whether it's chosen family, support groups or protest marches, we've always found strength in each other. Community is how we survive, it's how we fight back, and it's how we win. There's a saying, nothing about us without us. It means that decisions about our lives should be made with our voice at the table. It's time to live that. We must demand that our voices, LGBTQ+ voices, be heard loud and clear in Parliament, in the media, in schools, in every corridor of power. We will not let people who know nothing about our lives dictate our fate. Nothing about us without us. That means trans voices front and centre in discussions on gender recognition. That means consulting us on policies about LGBTQ+ education. It means including intersex voices in discussions about legal recognition and ace voices in plans for a conversion practices ban. It means listening to queer youth, not talking over them. We are here, we are experts in our own lives, and we will speak for ourselves. And remember, this backlash against us, as awful as it is also a sign of something. It's a sign that we have changed the world, and that the enemies of progress are scared. They see our beautiful communities living more openly, proudly and authentically than ever, and it terrifies them. It terrifies them because hate feeds on ignorance and silence, and we are shedding light and making noise. They want us back in the shadows, and we refuse. Across the world, we are not alone. Yes, we've seen attacks. Over 570 anti-LGBTQ+ bills in the US in the past year. Uganda criminalising queerness. Russia banning all LGBTQ+ expression. But we've also seen progress. Namibia and Dominica have decriminalised same-sex relationships. Thailand and Greece are moving towards marriage equality. Ecuador and Germany passed progressive gender recognition laws. Spain introduced one of Europe's most inclusive trans rights laws, and Malta, tiny but mighty, leads Europe in protections, scoring 89% on the Rainbow Index, compared to the UK's shameful score of just 46%. There are even rays of light in places like Poland, which, despite a hostile government, has elected its first openly queer MPs and is seeing rising support for equality. So yes, the backlash is global, but so is our resistance. These examples show us that while the fight is global, so is the momentum of progress. The forces of hate may be loud, but they are not winning everywhere. And they do not have to win here. Our allies around the world are rallying with us. From the EU to the UN, many have criticised the UK's recent progression. We are part of an international community that believes LGBTQ+ rights are human rights, and together we will keep pushing forward. Despite all of the darkness I've talked about, I have hope. I believe in people. I believe that bigots and authoritarians ultimately lose because they underestimate us. They think that if they make us scared enough, we'll hide. If they make us angry enough, we'll self-destruct. But we defy them by turning our fear into power and our anger into action. We channel it into something productive, something that changes the world. Look at the history of LGBTQ plus people in the UK. We have endured far worse and come through stronger. There were times when we had no rights at all, when simply being gay could get you imprisoned, when AIDS was killing our friends and the government didn't care, when the tabloids called us perverts every day. We fought through all that. We created change through activism, through education, through sheer refusal to disappear. We got Section 28 repealed, we got marriage equality, we changed hearts and minds. Most people in this country, especially the younger generation, do support LGBTQ plus equality. Don't let the haters trick you into thinking that we're alone. We are not. We have millions of allies out there. We have justice on our side, and we have something else our opponents lack: joy. The joy of living our truth, of building vibrant cultures, and of loving who we love. So let them come for us. We will meet them with pride. They want us to be afraid, fine, we are afraid at times, but we act anyway. That's the definition of courage. They want us to be silent, sorry, no chance. We will shout from the rooftops if we have to. They want us to go back in the closet. We will march in the streets in broad daylight, covered in rainbows and glitter, to remind them that we are here and we are not going anywhere. They want us to be ashamed. We are proud of who we are, proud of our community, and proud of our allies who stand with us. So let today, this gathering, be a spark. We are powerful, but we must act. Those of you who have heard me speak at IDAHOBIT before know that I always like to end with some practical things that you can do starting today. I know they're not exactly exciting, and we all have consultation fatigue, but the EHRC consultation launches on Monday about the proposed statutory guidance following the Supreme Court ruling. Tell them loudly that we oppose any changes that roll back our rights, flooding with responses in support of LGBTQ plus inclusion. We know that those against us will be writing in, we must do the same. Nothing about us without us, so we must make our voices heard in every consultation and survey. Write to your MPs and councillors. Ask them what they're doing about the rise in hate crimes. Ask them why the conversion therapy ban still isn't law. Tell them that your vote depends on it. They need to know that we are watching and that our community will not be a political football. If they want our support, we require theirs. Show up. Come to more demos, vigils, prides, especially grassroots and trans-led events. Visibility matters. Together we are hard to ignore, and it boosts our morale. These events remind us that we are part of something bigger. And challenge hate wherever you see it. In schools, at work, online, in your family. Speak up whenever it's safe to do so. Call out misinformation and support those targeted, especially our trans siblings, LGBTQ plus people of colour, refugees and others at the margins. Amplify queer voices, support LGBTQ plus organisations and boycott media that profits from hate. Don't give them your clicks or your money. These actions matter. Together they drive change. We didn't get the progress of the past by magic or by waiting politely. We got it because people like us, people like you, fought for it every single day in ways big and small. To those in power who are trying to drag us backwards, we will not go quietly. You will not win your culture war. We are on the side of love and freedom and dignity, and those are stronger than your fear and hate. To my LGBTQ plus family, I know it's hard right now, but we will win. The arc of the moral universe bends towards justice, and we will bend it with our own hands if we have to. We will vote, we will protest, we will support each other, and we will drive out the hatred trying to engulf us. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be next month, but if we stick together, the next IDAHOBIT we celebrate will be in a better country than this one today. So let's stand tall, be bold, let's shout louder than ever. Remember that every single one of you is important. Your voice, your story, your existence is revolutionary. They want you to feel small, but see how powerful we are together. And I'll end on this. Be proud, be strong, be defiant. Nothing about us without us. We're here, we're queer, and we're not going anywhere. Now let's go out there and make some change, proudly, together, as change makers. Thank you.